Apprehend God in all things, for God is in all things. Every single creature is filled with God and is a book about God. Amen. I don't know about you, but for me, May is the new December. You know what I mean? May's the new December, isn't it? I mean, it's just like, my goodness, how fast does May go? And there's so much in it with all the endings of school and the parties around the endings of school and all the other stuff that's ending, including graduation. And graduation's huge this time of year, whether you knew it or not. We recognized our graduates last year, but graduation continues on all throughout the city. We have a graduation for Kaylee, my daughter, later today. So it's on my mind. And did you know that it's not just happening here? That across the country, 3.2 million high school graduates are happening probably this month, if not this month, next month. 3.2 million. And that's for over 37,000 high schools across the country. 3.2 million graduates, 37,000 high schools, and that means 37,000 graduation speeches. And I will be listening to one today. But you know, they're not all bad, right? Some are actually really good. Some are good, and the ones, for me anyway, that are good are the ones that can touch across all the generations. All the generations. And one, I don't know if you heard of the one from the guy gave from Wesley High School in Massachusetts. He actually gave the commencement address last year. And he thought he was just speaking to the 400 graduates and their parents. But somebody filmed it and then sent it to YouTube, and it went viral. Over 2.2 million people have watched this graduation speech now. So much reaction was given to this speech that he went on radio shows and talk shows to talk about the speech, and then eventually he's written a book. And the book is titled, and it's from the speech, "You Are Not Special." Yeah, so you can see why there was a lot of reaction. You are not special. That's what he told the graduating seniors. Some people loved it. Some people hated it. But what he said was this: I was speaking to children I have known for at least 4 years, and I've watched these children who are under more and more pressure and scrutiny to perform, and to perform flawlessly for the adults in their lives. He said these are highly stressed children who think that they are nothing. They are nothing if they are not special. So he was trying to say to them, don't try to pose and live your life like you think someone special is supposed to live their lives. Don't do that. Don't try to be something you're not. He said, do what you do because you love it. Not because you think it's going to impress somebody else. Do what you do because you love it, not because you think it's going to impress somebody else and make you seem special. He said, you see, because you're not special. Because everybody's special. And if everybody's special, nobody's special. Right? And I love this. I love it. I love it. I don't know where you are on that. I'm looking at you there. I can't quite see. You know, there's all kinds of looks on faces, some frowning, some kind of smiling. So I love it, though. I love it because from my perspective, what he's talking about is good spirituality. It's good religion. It's what all good religion preaches. And that is this: do not forget the ordinary. Do not forget the ordinary. Do not forget the ordinary in yourself. Do not forget the ordinary in others. Do not forget the ordinary that's all around us all the time. Because it's in the ordinary where we will meet the extraordinary. I'm going to say it again. It's in the ordinary where we will meet the extraordinary. You see, but it's so easy, at least for me, to forget the ordinary. It's so easy to forget what's right in front of me, all around me, all the time. And this is one reason. This. I love this. You know what this is? This is the iPhone 5S. I love this thing. I absolutely love it. As a matter of fact, I think it's a great thing. I'm all for technology. I'm all for exploring and going as far as we can go. I just found out, right before I came out here, because of this thing, that somebody who I love dearly is just about ready to have a baby. And I just found that out, right here, right now, right before I came out here, because of this thing. But, as great as it is, it's also a distraction. It can also really, really, really stimulate me so much that the ordinary seems boring. The ordinary seems like not good enough. So, I want to remind us today a bit of the ordinary, of just what it took, just a small little sliver of what it took for each of us to be here, right now, today. Okay? So there's 400 billion stars in our solar system. And one is really important to us, right? The sun. The sun, I wrote this down, every second the sun produces 600 million tons of hydrogen. 600 million tons, and it's fused. And in that process, I'm not going to get into it too much, but that 600 million tons is turned into the energy which supports this whole earth. Every second, that's happening. Every second, that happens so that we can be alive. Okay? And then the plants. So the plants take that energy from the sun and they use it, and then they produce oxygen so that we can breathe, right? All the time. Now I'm going to get into the human respiratory system, so don't, unless you want, but just the heart. So think about your heart. Each day, our heart beats over 100,000 times a day. 100,000 times a day. Just sitting here, by the time this service is over, your heart will beat at least 3,000 times. And all that is just a slice of what goes on so that you can be here right now alive. Just a slice, just a little bit. Just one piece of the ordinary. So don't forget the ordinary, because in the ordinary is where we'll find the extraordinary. Now that should come as no surprise to Christians, right? We're Christians, right? And our religion, right at the center, at the heart of our religion, is the incarnation. And the incarnation is about the mystery of spirit in matter. It's about God becoming flesh in Jesus, right? But not just that. It's not just about God becoming flesh in Jesus, because as our gospel says today, Jesus says to the disciples, I'm going to go to the Father. And when I go to the Father, then you'll be able to do works that are greater than I did. And the reason we'll be able to do greater works than Jesus did is because God is going to send the Spirit. So the Spirit is in you, and it is in me, and it's in ordinary people. That's incarnation. So not only don't forget the ordinary, because that's where we'll find the extraordinary. Don't forget the ordinary, because that's where we'll meet the presence of God. In the ordinary people that we meet. In each other. But it's not just in people. The Eucharist, our primary ritual that we do Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. What we say is we meet the presence of God in the Eucharist. We meet the presence of God in the Eucharist, and it's an ordinary thing. It's a symbol of a family meal. The Eucharist is a meal. And we meet the presence of God through the people who are gathered, and through the bread, and through the water, and through the wine. And we take that in, we ingest the Spirit of God. Right here in this ordinary act. So don't forget the ordinary, because it's in the ordinary where we meet the extraordinary. It's in the ordinary where we meet the presence of God. That's why I say this thing I say before I preach every Sunday. Apprehend God in all things, for God is in all things. That comes from a 14th century priest who was writing to his people, telling his people that God is everywhere, all around them, all the time. All they have to do is have eyes to see and take the time to look. And he was writing to people at a time when, and this is a dark time for the church, where the church thought they were the only ones that had God. And that it was the church's God to dole out God to who they thought was worthy. And he was saying to people, nobody owns God. Take a look all around you. Take a look at the ordinary, and you will see God. So this reminds me of a story. It's a story of a woman who has three children. And she was just an ordinary day for a mom with 3 children, going to Walmart, which is always fun. Oh yeah, and they're all under 5. Wow, that woke you up, man. Holy. So, three children, all under 5. Okay, so they're going to Walmart, they park the car, and her mantra, once they parked the car, was, hurry up, we've got a lot to do. Hurry up, keep going, hurry up. Okay, so that's her mantra. Hurry, hurry. All right, so they're walking in, they're hurrying toward the store, and right out front of the store was a display of bushes and shrubs and trees and flowers. And one of her children was just drawn to it. The only boy, Adam. So he's drawn to this, and she's just pushing on. And as they get closer to the front, she realizes Adam isn't with him, and she doesn't even really look. She just kind of screams, Adam, come on, hurry up, come on. And so Adam just walks over, and she grabs the cart, and just as she's about ready to go inside, or actually maybe just when she gets inside, she feels a tap on the back of her shoulder. And she turns around, and a rather kind of big, imposing man is standing there. And she said he's got, big hands, kind of calloused hands, and boots, work boots, and he's wearing like a feed store hat. So she thought, wow, this guy's a farmer, I guess, and what could he possibly want? And he goes, did you see what your son was just doing? And she was like, oh no. What could it be? You see, because Adam has Down syndrome. So Adam has Down syndrome, and according to her, he does some profoundly embarrassing things every day. And she's thinking, what could it be? What could he have possibly done? So she just said, no, I don't know what he just said. And he goes, not only did he smell every flower out there in that display, but he smelled every tree and every shrub, and I think he even smelled the dirt. And she just kind of looked at him like, yeah, so? And he got that she wasn't getting his point. So he said, just come with me. So they all went outside, and she watched this big, rough guy walk over to this line of juniper plants. Is that right? Juniper plants? Okay, right. So he walks over there, and she just watched him lean in. And then he closed his eyes, and he took a big smell through his nose. And then he just smiled. And he goes, come, smell it. So she's kind of freaked a little bit, but she gives it a go. Goes over, and and as soon as she smells it, that kind of, the tangy, sharp smell went up her nostrils, she said, and all these childhood memories rushed into her head. And after that, she just went, huh. So for the next 10 to 15 minutes, she, her 3 children, and that big, gruff man smelled everything in the display. She said she hadn't seen her children more happy all day long. And when she got finished, the man said, you know, things aren't always what they seem, are they? And she said, no. And he said, you know, it pays to look close. Have a nice day. She writes this about that experience and really about her son Adam in this book, Expecting Adam. She says, Adam has taught me so much of my life I don't think I'll ever be able to repay him. She says, he brought with him a sweetness that surpasses anything I ever felt before he was conceived. It comes from looking at the heart of things. See? It comes from looking at the heart of things, from stopping to smell not only the roses, but the bushes as well. It is a quality of attention to ordinary life. It is a quality of attention to ordinary life that is so loving and intimate, it is almost worship. Don't forget the ordinary. Because in the ordinary, we will meet the extraordinary. In the ordinary, we will meet the presence of God. Amen.